In this video, we're talking performance pants. I've got 12 different pants here, from Lululemon and Bonobos to some online brands like Birddogs and Bylt and Truwear. Now, I've bought these pants, I've worn them for a few months, I've traveled with them. I'm gonna tell you which of these pants belong in your wardrobe and which ones you should pass on altogether. Ultimately, I'm gonna rank order these from number 12 all the way to number 1. Now, the first question you might be asking, what are performance pants? Performance pants are nicer than jeans, and yet they're not quite as nice as slacks or suit pants. They're in that middle range, and they really should be a staple of your wardrobe. In the past, you might have called these khakis or chinos or maybe even dockers. Now, the difference is today you should be wearing these, and it's a big upgrade over your old school chinos. They're far more comfortable. And like I say, they should be a staple of your wardrobe. I'm gonna give you 7 different criteria that I use to rank these pants. But before I do that, I just wanna tell you, nobody is sponsoring this video. Nobody's paying me. I didn't even get a free pair of pants here. I'm just doing this to provide some information. Hopefully it's helpful for you. I do a lot of travel videos, so this is a little different, but occasionally I review things. Last year I reviewed dress shirts. If you want to check out that video, I'll leave a link in the description. So back to the criteria. Number 1 criteria for any performance pants should be the fabric. The fabric and material needs to have a little bit of stretch. It needs to be super comfortable. Now, I'm going to tell you which ones do a good job with that. In one case, somebody goes too far and they're just too stretchy. But I'll tell you which ones really hit the mark and miss the mark as far as stretch fabric. Next up, appearance. Just because pants are comfortable, they still have to look good. They still have to look presentable at the office. Nice to wear out on a date. They've got to look good if you're traveling. I'm going to tell you which ones do well as far as appearance goes. Construction and quality, that's an important consideration as well. How well are these made? I look at stitch count. I also consider zippers and a few other factors. Waistband. I didn't think waistband would be too important, but as I did this video, I realized, wow, this is a really important consideration. It's no secret. I've got kind of a dad bod. I've got a few extra pounds, so I like a flexible waistband, but even if you're a skinny guy, it's nice to have a little bit of flex there, a little bit of give in that waistband. 6 of these pants have a little bit of that, and 6 of them do not. I'll tell you which ones. Pockets, that's another consideration. You wouldn't think pockets is a big deal, but it is. We're carrying phones around, we've got keys, we might have a passport. We've got to have relatively deep pockets. I'm going to tell you which ones hit the mark on that. Value for the money, a big consideration. Pants, you know, if you're spending $200 on a pair of pants, they should almost be perfect. On the lower end of the spectrum, I've got pants here for $30 or $40. That's, hey, that's a good value for the money, but do they hold up against some of the other pants on this list? Last, you have non-wrinkle performance. Non-wrinkle, probably not as important with pants as it is for a shirt, but still, I want to pull something out of a suitcase and not even have to think about ironing it. So there you have the criteria. Let's jump in as I rank order these and start with my number 12 ranked pants. First up is Bylt, that's B-Y-L-T. This is my lowest ranked pair of pants. Now, I saw these advertised heavily on the internet, on my social feeds, as I was starting to look for pants. This is definitely one of those online companies that promotes heavily when they detect that you're already looking for something similar. And I thought, hey, I'll give them a try. I got these pants. I had okay expectations. Their advertisements were pretty good. They feature this attractive gal and they tout a number of features, but there's some real problems with these pair of pants. The 2 big ones, first of all, terrible pockets. Now, pockets aren't even my number 1 consideration, but these were so bad, so shallow, you can't fit your hand in them, you can't fit your keys in them, you can't even fit your phone in your pocket. And so it does me no good. I really don't wear these unless it's on like a Saturday and I have nothing going on. You can't really use these pants functionally because the pockets just don't work. Also, the material feels a little bit too stretchy. Some pair of pants that I feature on this particular video don't have enough stretch. That's a more common problem. These are really the only ones where I felt like they had too much stretch, too much give. They felt very spandexy. I didn't care for that. So there you have it, a couple of fatal flaws with this. I really can't recommend Bylt to anybody, even if you got these on a significant discount. I just don't think they're up to par with some of the other pants I review. Next up is Birddogs. Now, I really wanted to love these pants. The company has some very clever advertising. I like their logo. I like their online presence. Unfortunately, the pants just did not live up to the hype. Let me talk about what I like. First of all, I like the fact that there are a lot of different size options available. Also, the pockets were really nice. Unlike the Bylt pants that I just reviewed, these pockets were plenty deep enough. Unfortunately, the material was not very comfortable, not very stretchy. Also, there was no flexibility in the waistband. That's a common theme here. A lot of these pants just don't have a flexible waistband, and I don't like that. I need a little bit of flex. And I didn't like these pants because they wrinkled terribly. These were the most wrinkly pants of any that I reviewed. I took these pants on a business trip, I pulled them out of my carry-on, and they have to be ironed before I can wear them. That's a no-no. I need pants that travel well, and these do not fit the bill. I think this is a young, growing company. I really like their advertising. I like what they're doing, but it's really the only pair of pants this company offers. They play some naming games, so I'm rooting for these guys, but I just cannot recommend these pants for anybody right now. Next up is Lee. Now, this name has been around for decades, known mostly for their lower end budget jeans. However, they do sell a lot of other pants. In fact, I was impressed with the selection that they had. You can buy these directly on their website. You can also find these on Amazon. While these pants don't compete with the top ranked pants in this video, at least in my opinion, what you do get here is incredible value. Retail price only $48. I've seen these priced in the low $30 range before. So incredible value if you're on a budget, if you just don't have a lot of money to spend, these might be your best bet. Now the material, the fabric, not as nice as what you're gonna find in other pants. And you do have kind of shallow pockets here, but they are comfortable. And what really helps is these pants have a very flexible, stretchy waistband. So you do get a good level of comfort here for a very good price. Next up is Outlier. Now these pants are a little bit different. They're cut differently. They have darts along the side here, and they do not have a seam that extends all the way to the ankle. So cut differently, less seam on the outside. And I thought I'd really like these pants, and there are some good things, but they're flawed in a couple of different ways. And first thing you should know, Outlier is going after a different crowd. They're not really going after the business casual crowd that most everybody else is marketing to. They're going after the high fashion. You go to their website and it's obvious, the models, the aesthetics, and the prices of their pants. These go for $175 retail. They are the most expensive pants I review in this video. These pants seem to be well constructed. They have a stitch count of 14. That's among the highest of any of the pants that I review. Now the material is good and bad. I really liked the feel of the material. It had the right amount of stretch, although it was a little bit porous and also a little bit wrinkly. You couldn't just throw it in your suitcase. It would come out a little wrinkly. You'd probably have to iron it. Be aware that Outlier only makes pants with a 34-inch inseam, no other length. So if you're less than 6 feet tall, you're probably gonna need to hem these or have a tailor do that for you. But the real deal killer for these pants is the waistband. No flexibility whatsoever. Maybe the worst waistband of any of the pants. Really stiff, uncomfortable. Ultimately, I just cannot recommend these pants. They're not comfortable and they're too expensive for what you get. Bonobos is a menswear line. They do have some stores, but mostly this is an online brand. It may be hard to tell from this video, but I felt like these were the dressiest pants. They were most like a pair of slacks. They looked really good. You could throw a blazer on and go to a wedding or a church or a more formal activity with no problem. Bonobos also has a wide selection. They sell a lot of pants, a lot of colors, a lot of sizes. But here's the problem I had. These are called the Stretch Weekday Warrior pants, and they don't stretch much. In fact, these were the least stretchy of any pants that I review. I kind of feel like these are a little misleading, even though they're called the Stretch Weekday Warriors. Not much stretch, and that also goes with the waistband. The waistband has very little flexibility. So even though these look great, and you got a lot of selection, and they're constructed really well, you got a high stitch count, I really don't recommend these because they just aren't super comfortable. One detail you may notice is these pants are constructed with a fabric that's 97% cotton and only a 3% elastane, so not enough flexible, stretchy material here. It's no wonder these pants aren't super comfortable. Also, I don't appreciate that Bonobos, the sizing is a little bit off. I don't think their inseam is true to size. I had to take mine to the tailor to have them hemmed because they were just a little too long, even though I know I ordered the proper size. If given the choice, I would prefer these Twillory pants over the Bonobos. We're getting now to some of these pants that probably have more going for them than against them. These are made of a 100% polyester. It's a Japanese stretch fabric, and they're very comfortable, very soft. Now, Twillory offers a lot of different colors, a lot of different sizes, and they also have a matching blazer available with their pants. So technically, you could turn this into a suit. A few things I didn't like about the Twillory: not a flexible waistband. This is a common theme on a lot of these pants that would otherwise be great pants, but without a flexible waistband, the comfort level is just down a couple of notches. Now, in the case of the Twillory, they do have a rubber seal that helps prevent your shirt from slipping out, but still not enough flexibility in that waistband. Also, pockets too shallow with these pants, and a weird inseam where the pockets kind of bulge out near the hip, which I didn't really like. I kind of feel that these pants fit me kind of weird. I didn't really like the cut. That bulging inseam right on the hip was awkward. Ultimately, I just feel that these pants didn't really look good on me. It might be the cut, it might be my body type, it might just be that I'm self-conscious, but I didn't really love the look. I still wear these pants somewhat regularly, but it's kind of a mix of both good and bad with the Twillory pants. Lululemon is next, a popular brand, well-known retail brand, especially with women, but they do sell a lot of men's performance clothing as well. Even though you can find their retail stores almost anywhere, I recommend ordering online. You have a lot better selection. In fact, you have a huge selection online, whereas in the stores, it's hit and miss sometimes. These pants were very comfortable. The material feels a little bit luxurious, a little heavy though. If it's a hot summer day, they might be a little bit too heavy, but overall, a nice feel, good amount of stretch, some great pockets as well. These pants also seem like they're very well made. They have a high stitch count, 14 stitches per inch. That's tied for the highest of any of the pants that I review. Overall, these pants missed on a couple of small things. There is an unusual seam on the back of the knee. Not all Lululemon pants have it, but these do. It's not really easy for anybody to see unless you're looking close, but I'd prefer it wasn't there. Also, the zipper that they use for the fly was kind of cheap. I don't like a cheap zipper, so really what you have is a couple of small things here, and then you have another pair of pants where the waistband is not flexible at all. No stretch, no give, and these pants would rank a little bit higher if they just had a decent waistband like some of the other ones do. Now, in a head-to-head contest, I like Lululemon, but I would prefer the Rhone commuter pants. These pants go for $138, so a little bit on the expensive side, and they are made out of a 100% polyester blend, and I really like the fabric here. It's lighter weight, considerably lighter weight than many of the other pants on this list, so it works well for summer. High stitch count, these are well constructed. You also get a pretty nice zipper. These are nice pants. Rhone, a brand that's kind of known for quality menswear. You got a lot of different options, a lot of colors and selections available on their website. A few minor drawbacks with these pants. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, a little bit on the expensive side. Also, the pockets a little bit shallow, not terrible, but I would definitely prefer it if they were a little bit deeper. And last of all, again, the waistband. It had a little bit of flex, but it could have had a considerable amount more. If it had a more comfortable waistband, I think the Rhone pants might have cracked my top 3 on this list. In the end, these are good-looking, quality pants that I might consider buying if I found them on a really good discount, a really good sell. and that might be hard to do. I don't see Rhone discounting these often. Next up is Izod, the Advantage Performance Stretch Pants. Now this brand has been around for many decades, perhaps better known for their shirts and sweaters than their pants, but I really like these pants. They have a 60% cotton and 40% elastane nylon mix. These pants have a good amount of stretch. I wouldn't say they were top tier as far as comfort level, but the stretch was good, and these really excelled as being good non-iron pants. You put these in a suitcase, you can pull them out, throw them on, no problem. Also, inexpensive. You can find these retail price for $80. Sell price, I found these in the $40 to $50 range. Good flexible waistband as well, so high marks with that. One disadvantage with these pants is they're kind of hard to find. Izod sells through their traditional retail channels and not really directly to the public. Of all 12 pants I review in this video, these are the only ones where you can't go to the manufacturer's website and purchase them. You either have to go to the store, which in the United States that would be like a JCPenney's or a Kohl's. If you look hard, you can find these on Amazon. They do have limited availability and sizes. Also, be aware because Izod makes another line of performance pants called the Saltwater line that's not quite as nice. If you do find these Advantage Performance stretch pants, it's a good value and I would recommend them, especially if you can get them for less than $50. Coming in at number 3 is Truwear with the Prodigy dress pants. Now, if you follow my channel, about a year ago, I did a video very similar to this, except I was reviewing dress shirts. I reviewed 20 different shirts, and if you want to, I'll leave a link in the description to this video. Now, in that dress shirt review, Truwear ended up with one of my top ranked dress shirts. It was a complete surprise, and I've followed the brand ever since, and I had to try out their Prodigy dress pants. These pants are made out of 100% polyester. In fact, the material feels a lot like the Lululemon fabric. Very similar. Both have a lot of stretch, both feel very nice. Also, these have very good waistband, much better than the Lululemon pants. The waistband has some flexibility, has a little bit of stretch. Reasonable price here too, $89 is a very good price, and I've seen these on sale for 20%, 30% less at times. It almost feels that these pants do pretty well in every single criteria. They may not be my most comfortable pants, but they're definitely top tier. Same thing with the waistband. Not the best waistband, but again, top tier and pretty much well-rounded and good in every criteria across the board. The only real disadvantage is there's not a lot of selection, not a lot of colors. In fact, they only have 3 colors available for their performance pants. It seems like Truwear is pivoting a little bit towards offering more golf apparel. I find a lot of golf stuff, casual wear. However, they do still have plenty of dress shirts, and these pants are great. So I do recommend these guys. Coming in at number 2 is Jack Archer. And I will tell you, this is a close number 2. I went back and forth on who should have the top billing. But Jack Archer comes in at number 2. Really, I have almost nothing but good to say about these pants. Very comfortable. In fact, these would be ranked number 1 if it were based solely on comfort alone. I love the fabric, very lightweight. In fact, so lightweight that I really didn't think I would like these. As I was unboxing it, I thought, oh wow, these almost feel cheap. But the material is not cheap. It's a 100% polyester rebound fabric is what they're calling this. Because this material was so lightweight, it did really well in the warmer weather. These pants also had a fantastic waistband that had a good amount of flex, very comfortable, and they had some other features that weren't in any other pants, including what they call anti-ball crush technology, which is really just an extra little gusset, but it did provide an extra little bit of room in the crotch, which was kind of nice. If I had to take one pair of pants on a long 10-hour transatlantic flight, these would be the ones that I would take. So the real question is, why didn't these pants earn the top spot? They're so comfortable, they have so much going for them. Why aren't they number 1? There's just 2 or 3 little reasons. One is the company plays some pricing games. They'll mark these pants up to like $160 and then give you a $60 discount so you get them for $99. I don't really like that. I like kind of a straightforward pricing approach. But the other reason is these pants are just a little bit more casual. The look, the feel of these pants, and just the cuts and some of the pockets, the features, a little bit more casual. You probably wouldn't wear these with a jacket to a church, to a wedding, to a more formal event. But I wouldn't let that stop you, because 99% of the time, these pants are going to work just fine. Overall, these are great. I definitely recommend them. Number 1 on this list, my top-ranked travel pants are from Bluffworks, and specifically their Envoy lightweight travel pants. If you're not familiar with Bluffworks, it's a company that's been around since I think 2012, and they do menswear. They also sell some women's clothing, but an exceptional company. I've had almost nothing but good experiences with them. Customer service with these guys is always excellent. Their craftsmanship, the quality of their products is always really top-notch. These Envoy travel pants look really nice. That's the difference between these and the Jack Archers that I reviewed just a few moments ago. These look much more like something you would wear to a formal event. They look fantastic. You can pull these off with a suit jacket. You can wear these more casual if you would like, but they are kind of a nicer looking pair of pants than many of the others on this list. Also, they have a great amount of stretch. They feel very comfortable. 90% polyester, 10% spandex mix with plenty of stretch, very comfortable. Now, as far as quality and construction of these pants, with the stitch count, I counted 10 stitches per inch, which is average, but a little bit misleading in this case, because almost all of the seams are double stitched, especially on the inseam, double stitched. So these are very well constructed. You also have the advantage of having Bluffworks pockets. These guys are kind of known for their pockets. They find a way to hide pockets in almost all of their apparel. And there's plenty of pockets with these pants, and the pockets are plenty deep. So that's another advantage of these pants. Last thing, and you know it's coming, you know it's important to me, the waistband. These guys did a great job. The waistband is plenty flexible and very comfortable. So well done, Bluffworks. Now, before you rush off to the store, before you go online, hold on for a minute. I've got a few tips for you that might be helpful for you before we wrap up this video. First thing has to do with advertising. You should know that you just can't believe what you find and read about online. Don't trust any advertising. Let me give you an example. On the left here, you have Birddogs. On their website, they have literally thousands of glowing reviews, and yet I think those pants were pretty mediocre. The same token, you have Jack Archer, and they do a lot of social media advertising. They're not alone. A lot of companies will do social media advertising. You'll find that you start searching for something, you'll see all sorts of new advertisements in your feed. It's a common thing. In the case of Jack Archer, all of these claims are real and truthful. I think Jack Archer makes some great pants. So you can't tell. There's just no way to decipher it. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. I would make sure that you can return your pants. Sometimes you find a great deal. Hey, you got 40% off, but you can't return the pants. Make sure that you can return them, especially if you're trying some pants for the first time. Speaking of too good to be true, the other day I walked into Costco and I found some Banana Republic performance pants for only $19. I immediately bought them. Turns out the pants were terrible. They felt like medical scrubs. Again, too good to be true. I have no idea why Banana Republic would risk their reputation by creating a super cheap pair of pants, calling them performance pants, and then selling them at Costco for $19. But again, too good to be true. It probably is. I will also tell you, if you're out there looking around, go with the slim fit. I'm kind of a dad bod, but you know what? Slim fit works more often than not. For whatever reason, I think that the classic or regular fit, they have too much material in the leg area. You want a little bit of that taper, so size yourself out correct, whatever you are, 34, 36, 38. Make sure you have the right waist size and inseam size, but then go with the slim fit. I think you'll find it works best. Also, if you're confused about stretch, and maybe you're looking at a pair of pants that aren't in this video and you wonder if they're any good, see what the material is. If something has more than about 90% cotton, I would probably avoid it. Now, cotton is great, but it just does not stretch. You want something with at least some elastane or spandex, or a polyester pant that just has some stretch to it. But if it's got too much cotton, like a couple of pants in this video did, specifically the Lee and the Bonobos, which were both like 97% cotton. It's just not gonna be as comfortable, not gonna be as stretchy. Also, a quick note on stain resistance, because a lot of these companies tout their stain resistance, and I actually tried to test this out, and guess what I found? There's really not much difference, maybe a slight little bit, but I wouldn't make a decision on buying pants based on how much stain resistance. If you spill ketchup on any of these pants, you're gonna have to send it to the laundry. I did find that maybe 2 or 3 were slightly ahead. I thought that Jack Archer and Bluffworks, the 2 top pants here, did pretty well with stain resistance. Izod did pretty well with stain resistance, whereas Lululemon, Outlier, and Truwear, they seemed a little more porous, but either way, like I say, if you spill ketchup on your pants, you're gonna have to send it to the laundry anyway. Last, how did you find the best deal? Well, the secret is you wanna follow these companies. You want to go to their website, sign up for their newsletter. Some of them will immediately give you like a 20% off discount. Or follow them on their social media channels. You'll find out when they have sales. Really, you shouldn't pay full price for any of these. I think you can usually get at least 10 to 20% off, and if you wait till like a Black Friday sale, you might be able to save as much as 40 or 50%. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, I'm happy to share any insights or information in the comments below. So leave a comment, and I wish you the best luck as you find your next pair of performance pants.